Okay, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to speak about how it's actually much easier to build a £1 million personal brand using Claude and AI workflows than you think. I'm going to go through all the systems I use, all the AI employees I use, all the skills I use, all the workflows I use in a very simple way. I've built my personal brand, as you can see, it's 23,000 followers. I've got my YouTube here, which is, a combined 25,000 audience people. Last year, we helped our clients make over £1 million. We've helped them make over £1.5 million in profit. I'm talking pounds, and yes, I am talking profit through inbound organic content, and now I'm using it to scale my own brand. Which I'm documenting the process of doing so on my personal Instagram page. And in this video, I want to speak about how I'm using Claude, because I started using Claude about 2 months ago and I found it really fucking complicated. As you can see in this most recent video that we posted, basically towards the end of this, all we're doing, we had like a week in a remote mansion in Mallorca, and basically all we were doing the entire week was learning to use Claude. And the only reason I got so good at it is because there was 4 of us in the villa and we were all doing it for about 10 to 12 hours every single day. Since then, I've basically used it to build all the systems around my business, my personal brand, and my content, and I have found what works, what doesn't work. I've spent a lot of money learning this as well, and I just want to share it in this video because I know it can get fucking complicated. The first most important skill that you need to learn how to use is learn how not to use it in your content. For the first month of using Claude Code, spending like £200 a month on all the Claude Code credits and all this bullshit, right? I was using it to try and do all my scripts, to do all this analysis on competitors, try and create the perfect hooks, and it fucked up my content. Right, it was fucking terrible. And I really think the best way to use Claude in your content is to not use it in your content, but to use it to make your life easier. So then you have more time for you as a founder, as a creator, to spend on your content. I'm going to speak through all the different systems, like so many different ways I've made my life so much easier, to come up with better ideas, to speak to my audience better. But simply the first thing you need to understand is that you should not be replacing yourself with AI. You should not be using AI to make your content for you. Like, you are one of one. And if you are using something else to come up with your ideas, your scripts, tell you what to say, then you have no edge. There is no competitive edge that you have in the market, because the second someone comes along and uses the same skill as you or uses the same framework as you, you're gone. You are gone. There is nothing that separates you from the market if you're being told what to say by something else, right? Because actually understanding the context of AI really helps us use it. AI is built, especially Claude and all these ChatGPT ones, they're all built from a central hub, and then I have loads of different routes that come off, and then they lead to our computers. So let's say there's fucking 50 people, you and all your competitors, you're all working off the same database. So if you're all working off the same database and you're all doing what it tells you to, you're going to become the same. There's no differentiators in the competition. So use AI to make your life easier, and then use the time you get back to put into content. Right? Since I've done this, I spend a lot more time listening to music, meditating, going for walks, working out, trying and exploring different areas of my life, right? Because then I'm calmer. I am more in touch with myself. I am more in touch with the unique edge that I have, and I can think better, I can test more, I can run more ideas, I can create more content that I can then leverage with the systems that we've built to then grow quicker and grow easier and to connect to the people that I want to speak to more, right? So that is what I'm going to speak through in this video. I know I'm already 4 minutes in, but I need you to understand first of all that if you use AI to create your content, you have no edge. And we are in the game, especially this fucking YouTube channel, being one of one and creating your edge. If you don't know me, if you don't know one of one, it's basically the art of creating yourself and the art of living true to yourself in your own life, and then using it to create an impact that no one else can have, right? That's why we use personal brands. That's why we use content, and that's why we use online business, because it helps us have the leverage of our ideas and using things that no one else can have to have an impact that no one else can, right? That's exactly what it says right here. Scaling companies like an artist, right? Helping you have an impact that no one else can have. I'm in the business of helping you realize that you have more power than you think. And then when you use AI to make your life easier, that power comes out a lot simpler. All right. So I actually, hold on, fucking hell. Let me close this, right? Sick. So what I want to do is I want to kind of speak through the actual AI systems I'm using. I'm using Claude Code inside Visual Studio Code And basically, yeah, I don't really know how that fully works. Basically, the best way to learn AI is use AI to learn AI. So I was like, I came into Claude and I was like, yo, Claude, this is what I want to do. How do I fucking do it? And they just told me through it. And literally, even to the steps of like right now, I'm just like, yo, I'm doing a video about the Claude systems I'm using. Can you give me a breakdown of everything, right? Because I don't even know all of it, what's going on in the back end, right? So basically, the main thing that I do is I set my personal brand and my business up on one Claude like file, and I call that Donna. If you watch Suits, you know what I'm talking about. But this is kind of the executive assistant that everything sits upon. The EA speaks to all the other skills in my business as well. So we've got these different people in here who are like, you know, based off real people, but they help me kind of create different ideas, but also execute strategies in different kind of areas. I don't use these too much, but it's more so like on the knowledge that they have. Like let's say like George, it's like an e-commerce growth person, right? If I have an idea about a thing that I want to try, I'll be like, I'll speak to my Claude, I speak to Invoice. I'll be like, yo, Claude, like, I'll be actually like, yo, Donna, this is actually the idea I've got, this strategy I've got, this is what I'm going to do. What do you think? And then it's like, cool. Then it just bounces back like a response based on the kind of custom skills I've given it. And I just use that as a bit of an extra touch point. Again, I'm not basing my entire decision off of it. I'm not doing everything it tells me to. I'm just getting it to give me an answer and a response based on the context that it knows about me. Which leads me to my second point, which is the most important thing I've built up here, is the context and the memory base of me. One of the most important things we've got here is, where is it? I don't know, I think the breakdown's here, but basically, is it? I feel like we must have. Yeah, basically, like in our Donna workspace, we've connected it to a separate app and platform called Obsidian. It's like a second brain. I could show you because it looks fucking sick, but at the same time, it's kind of pointless. But it basically just holds all the knowledge you've given it about you. And I've probably spent like a week just giving it all my old YouTube videos, speaking to it loads, having it interview me, and just ask me loads of questions so it knows so much about me, right? From there, I can then speak to Donna, and Donna's like, yeah, we can do this, we can build this system. One of the main implementations that I built into my Claude is the skill. Like if you know Claude, skills are like basically SOPs or standard practices that your Claude will operate from. And one of the skills that I put in my Claude was the belief that anything is possible. So anytime I have an idea, no matter how crazy it is, or let's try and build a system and let's try and do this and this, you know, if you've used AI, it will come back and be like, oh, hold on, this isn't actually possible. We can't actually do this. And I'm like, no, that's not true. We can do this because there is always a way. My Claude knows that now. And it's like, yo, yeah, anything is possible. Sick. We're going to try to do this and this to do it, right? That is literally what I've used to build some of the most important systems I have, and also replace a huge amount of cost in softwares, because what I've gone and done is basically built my own softwares. As you can see right here, one of the most important things is we have like a content operating system, which connects to my Instagram, my YouTube, my Pinterest even, and just manages and tracks all the analytics, but also can do automatic posting. I can show you these. So right here, like again, you can kind of see these are different Instagram accounts listed down the side. I'm not going to go into all of it because I don't want to share all of it right now. But basically, right, I can see like this is my post scheduler. So this is kind of like all my trial reels going out. And it's just quite cool. I can kind of see my, the calendar. I've got trial reels going out until fucking August. And then I can see they're automatically being posted at different times of the day. And the best part about this is this is a perfect example of it's so time consuming to go and post a trial reel, because you have to go on your phone, you have to click yes on the trial reel option, write the caption, do all this fucking shit, right? It takes long. And you have to do that every time of your day, and it breaks up your block, and it's just annoying. But the best thing that I do now is cool, I'll just have a creative stint where I create 50 videos, and I'll upload them all at once, and it's a whole 2 weeks of trial reels done. And it's they automatically post at the right times and all this shit. And it's brilliant, right? That's how you can use Claude to make it easier to do other things in your life. Same thing with emails. I built hold on. There we are. I'm trying to not expose too much of my data, because there's obviously loads of stuff going on with these. This is basically a great insight into the company. Anyway, I was spending loads on email platforms. I still couldn't fucking understand them, and it was spending over $100 a month and just contacts and fucking segments and all this bullshit, right? So I found an AI developer API key that I can use to send emails. It's gives me loads of emails a month, and I built my own email software. So I would click around in this loads, but I'm going to expose loads of different emails. I don't want to do that, and I cannot be bothered to blur shit out. So I basically just show you the sequences tab, basically. So it's like, again, these are all triggered on different parts of the businesses, on the apps, on the e-commerce side, on the personal brand side, where, you know, I can click into it and I can see the amount of like the stats. Again, this isn't a running one, so that's why there's only 2 people in it. But I can basically see like the actual email itself. I can preview it right here. I write my emails in here. I can edit them. I can disable them. I can add text. I can do all this shit, right? And it's sick because I built this. And it means that I can build this to my custom needs. On my whiteboard right in front of me, I'm like, cool, I want to have an email workflow where I'm doing 3 personal emails and 3 e-com campaign emails a week. And it's like, sick, let me build a flows and a campaigns feature. It's like, you may not know what that means, but I know what that means because it's my language. And whatever I need in my business and whatever I need in my marketing, I can just build. And it's fucking sick because I can just go to Claude and be like, yo, this is what I need. And because I've implemented like developer skills, it'll just go and build that shit. And then I can spend like 2 minutes making it look nice or making it look usable. And it's like, brilliant. That's fucking easy. That is the best way to use Claude right now, is not to use it to replace yourself doing content and stuff. It's like actually make so much other things in your business so much easier to do, so you have more time to realize the problems you're having, where you're wasting the most amount of time, and then with that extra time, realize how special you are as an individual, as a creator, as a founder, and use that time to invest more in time into content and do these things, because content is one of the highest leverage things you can do. No matter how advanced you think you are, content is one of the most important things you can do. You don't have to look that much further than people like Alex and Mosey. He's like fucking top dog, right? But he's still investing so much time into content because it's such a high leverage thing to do. So use AI to build the team, build the AI employees and the systems that make things easier. Basically, most of this stuff is just bullshit. Very, very simple. All you really need to do is like start using Claude in a way where you are building it custom to your situation. What it's best used for is like, yes, set it up in a way where it knows shit about you. It has the right skills. Like just a quick Google search or a quick Claude search will help you find the skills or the information that you need for it to work. And that's it. And then you just prompt it. You, as an individual, as a unique business and as a unique person, can just speak to it and be like, I'm dealing with this problem. What solutions can we think about? And then you build them, and then you run them, and you operate them, and they become habits, and they become workflows, and they become things that you just do, and they become a lot easier to operate, right? Because I have become so much more creative just in the past month because I can have so much more time to think, and I've built more creative systems that allow me to think. Like a morning, it's like a way more detailed morning routine. Things I'll do at different times of the day if I'm feeling in X different ways, where I can track ideas, where I can segment ideas, where I can have conversations with my own ideas. Like these things just help me out so much more, and I will make more videos about these as well. So subscribe and look for those videos as they come out. Different kind of creative systems, some internal, some mental, some external, some physical, right? But those different ones, right? So use Claude to make your life easier, and then with that spare time, invest it back into yourself, which in turn will make your content better. That is the best way to make £1 million personal brand, and use some Claude to help, basically. So yeah, comment any questions you've got. I'm an open book with this type of shit. Again, I'm trying to not expose as much company data as possible, but I will answer any questions. And yeah, let's fucking just start ripping it, using this AI stuff to make our lives easier and enhance our leverage as creators and as founders. Good shit. Stay wonderful. Catch you guys in a bit. All the best. Bye.